Hey guys, and welcome back to the 11th episode with Bradford City, where we try to aim to win the FA Cup by only making signings based on data and also only buying players under the age of 24. This is our first ever season in the Premier League, and look how good we're doing. We're currently in 8th with 31 points, so if you take a look at the English Premier Division, the Premier League, if you do say so, we already are at 31 points, and if you take a look at the previous seasons, you'll see that you only need 30 points, 33 points and 30 points to survive. So 31 points means that we need to get a couple of points here and there, and then we should be safe from relegation, which was our only goal this season. We're currently in 8th. We should be in 9th when we look at the XG, but I think we're doing very nicely. Also, if you take a look at the schedule, you'll see that we have not lost in the last 6 games. We're doing pretty good against every team. We just have small losses, 1-0, 1-2, of course a big one against Liverpool here, 1-5. But defensively we're solid, and in the attack we still need to improve a lot. We do have some lucky games as well, of course. For example, this Carabao Cup quarterfinal, we scored in the 91st minute and the 96th minute, which is absolutely insane. Which means that we're now against Bradford in the semi-final. And let me just take a look. The semi-final is being played on the 12th and the 20th. So we will have those results in this episode still. I'm going to see if I can make some signings, if I have the transfer budget to actually bring someone in. I only have 5 mil, but I'll be back at the end of the transfer window to show you some potential deals that we have made. Hey, 93.5% of you are not subscribed to my channel yet. Please do consider subscribing, as it really helps me out a ton and it keeps me motivated to make more awesome content. With that out of the way, let's move on to the video. The January transfer window has come to an end, and let's see how we did. We beat Brighton in the Premier League, we beat Chelsea, we beat Hull, we drew Newcastle, and we won against Burnley. So that's another 4 victories, which means that we're now in 6th in the table, which is absolutely insane as a newly promoted team. However, something very unfortunate happened. We lost in the FA Cup right here. We then drew Brentford in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, but eventually lost on penalties to Brentford. Look at this, 3 XG and they had 1 XG, and we still managed to lose. That is pretty unfortunate. So I think the final will be Brentford against Chelsea, which is very interesting to see. The transfers in January are just the 3. Jack Wint, brought him in for 300k, goalkeeper from Manchester City, very young, a lot of talent, and I will show you in a bit how he looks in the data sheet, but he's going to be our first goalkeeper. Then our second wonderkid of the series, in which I have a lot of trust, Matthias Bocardi, brought him in for 3.6 million from Cologne in Argentina, and as you can see, very well-rounded player. He's an immediate starter for us, and the same goes for Marian Grendel. Paying only 2 million for a guy with these stats is absolutely absurd. Insane physicals, mentally could still improve, but has 16 vision, 15 flair, 14 decisions, 14 composure and 14 anticipation, which is absolutely insane as a inside forward. And then also technically very well-rounded, and this guy is also, just like his counterpart, a immediate starter for our team. After that, you might wonder, how do they look in the team? Well, if we go ahead and we start on goalkeeper, in the sweeper keeper role, you see that Jack Wint is just 0.2 better than John McCracken. Then if we go and select the inside forward role, for which we got the 2 new guys in, you'll see that Grendel is at 13.0, so he is as good as Solis, but since Solis is like 5 years younger, I will play Marian Grendel because I think he has still a lot to improve. The same goes for Matthias Bocardi. If we go ahead and we select in the advanced forward role, you'll see that Rodrigo Muniz and Ennis are actually better than him or at the same level, but of course, since Bocardi is only 18 years old and has a lot to improve, we will play him as our first striker. One last thing before simming to the end of this season, Dundalk has become our first ever affiliate, which is very nice to see. It'll help us get some talented youngsters into our team, hopefully, but I've never actually seen this work. Anyway, I will be simming to the end of the transfer window, and we'll see how we did in our first ever season with Bradford City in the Premier League. Of course, something that we can't forget about in FM is the youth intake. Nothing really promising. Some of these players I brought in because they had good determination and a good personality. And we have 3 promising players. Neil Cullen, I brought in because of his determination and some of his stats. Rudy Tracy, also determination and driven personality. And then last but not least, Garrett Roberts, because he had 12 determination and pretty okay potential. Those are the players we brought in, and now let's go to the end of the season. That's the end of the 2006-2007 season. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into it and check how we did. As for the new arrivals, you'll see here Matthias Bucardi scoring 10 in his 16 appearances when we brought him in for 3.6 mil, which is pretty good. Jack Wind also didn't do too bad, 15 games, 6.9. Hugo Bueno also 14 assists. That's really helped us stay in the Prem, because do believe it, we did stay in the Prem. Without that out of the way, let's jump into the season results. And as you can see here, Bradford City has finished in 8th with 60 points, which is absolutely insane. It was mainly due to this winning streak right here, where we beat United, Everton, Bournemouth, Brighton, Chelsea, Hull City and Burnley. And then after here, we really fell off, losing against Tottenham, Aston Villa, City, United and Bournemouth. But hey, we were already secured to stay another year in the Premier League. In the FA Cup, we unfortunately got knocked out by Everton, as you already saw. And in the Carabao Cup, the same thing happened against Brentford, where we unfortunately lost on penalties. Then, moments to remember, the 2-1 victory over Arsenal, which is actually insane if you think about it. And of course, our biggest win against Burton in the Carabao Cup. Then the finances, as you can see, we have really gotten a lot more money. 103 million in broadcast revenue, 29 million in competition prize money, which is absolutely insane. And as well as the shirt sales, we're now earning 1.5 million by just selling shirts. Sponsorship deals, no new deals yet, but I'm sure that they will turn up at the end of the season once the season has progressed a little more. Then as you can see how we lined up, and as you can see, no one really underperformed. I'm not really happy about Shane McKevitt, who we brought in for a lot of money, so I might just consider selling him on. He's been injured also a lot, so can't really trust him to play all the time. And Marian Grendel, I expected this guy to do a little better, but hey, let's give him some time. He's only 19 years old and did give 2 assists and 3 goals. Then onto the accolades, which is maybe a little less interesting. David Danso, of course, highest transfer fee, youngest goal scorer as well, and worst discipline, which is interesting, Usmana Kane, 15 yellow cards, 2 red cards. Not very good. I think we missed him like 6 games this season just because he was suspended. As for the supporters profile, we've actually lost followers on social media. No clue how that happened. We're doing better and we're getting more well known, and we're losing followers. That's interesting, but hey, we can't do anything about it. 21k season ticket holders, and we are buying our stadium this year, I think in July. So all the income we get from the football matches will be for Bradford City and nothing will be for the owner anymore, which I currently think is the city of Bradford. One last thing before the end of the episode is that I wanted to show you the junior coaching has now been improved to excellent, youth recruitment good, training facilities good, youth facilities good, and corporate facilities average. I'm still trying to get these up the same way as I'm trying to get up the coaching staff. We currently have 13 coaches, 9 performance analysts, and I'm just trying to upgrade it throughout the season to ask for a little bit more. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. We have 29 million to spend in the next transfer window. We have 54 million in the bank currently, so I'm hoping that they give us a little bit more budget to spend, and we'll be spending it in the next episode where we're preparing for another season in the Premier League, and we're hoping to get a little bit further in the FA Cup. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you've enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe down below, and I hope to see you in the next episode.